record. Okay. That's like a guys. So the question is differentiate stateless wizard and stateful wizard. Definitely the person with a camera on will be given a preference because client like that. So this is just a request to everyone. Again, if you like, you can do that. So I request Ravi to unmute and answer.
Yeah, yes, sure. So the difference between stateless widget and stateful widget is the stateless widget don't have any state, and the stateful widget have a state method.
So anything in brief you can explain, like what are the benefit of them, how to use it or something like that. You still have 20 seconds to add on anything on that.
Yes. In the stateful widget, we can manage the different state throughout the widget. Like if you have to change on the real time, then we can use the stateful. And if we just use the simple plain constant value or widget, then we can use the stateless widget.
Okay, no issue. Let's start with Mayank. Mayank, you can unmute and speak on that if you have anything new or anything on that. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So basically, as we said, stateless and stateful, the main difference is that stateless widget does not have any state, and stateful widget has state, and we can rebuild the widget using the set state method. Basically, the whole build method is restarted once we call the set state. We mostly try to use stateless widgets wherever we can because we don't want any unreal or unwanted rebuilds in any place or in any place. So but to rebuild stateless widgets or to refresh them, we use state management techniques like we have block, we have getx, and all those different type of things. This stateful widgets are beneficial in place where we.
Okay. No issue with that. We have now I will request to Arvind. Only 3 people are allowed for every question, so Arvind can unmute and speak on that.
Okay. So stateless widget are those that don't have any state, and stateful widgets are those which have state. In stateful widget, there are some predefined method like init state, dispose method, but stateless widget we have don't any method. And if we and in stateless widget we don't rebuild that widget, but in stateful widget we rebuild that widget by with using set state. But if we want to rebuild that or refresh the screen with stateless widget, then we use some state management techniques like block, provider, getx, etc. And that's it, sir.
This whole setup can work. Okay, that's really good. So I'm just moving to the next one. Required an optional parameter in Dart.
And you put one information over other.
Question is a bit simple. But you guys need to, put back the hands. Okay. Just a second.
Excuse me, Kapil, I have a quick question.
Okay.
I see these raised hands emojis on people's video cards. I'm raising my hand physically. So how do I
No. We will be proceeding with the emojis. Definitely, actually, the number is a bit high here to manage, frankly speaking. So in that case, what I'm suggesting, like once the question change, please everyone, lower down your hand. Okay, and then we can go. So that will make more sense. So I'm just lowering hand of everyone here. And if you can lower down your hand, and that will be good. Only 3 people will be allowed to answer for each question. We'll make it very quick, fast. Okay, 30 seconds.
Can I know in some way if you have seen that my hand is raised?
Not physically. You have to click on the emojis. Physically, we are not taking right now. You have to click on the emojis that everyone has done.
Yeah, that was my question. Where do I find those emojis to click on?
So guys, please say where is it?
You can find a reaction button over here.
Okay.
Oh,
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Just I am lowering the hand and proceeding to the next question. Give me just a minute. so that there's no confusion. And once the question complete, please lower your hand and wait for the new one to come up and do it up. This is just one time I'm doing it. Okay. So here we go. Everyone is done. Okay. So I see Amit was the first one to do it. Differentiate between required and optional parameter in Dart. So Amit was the first one, but definitely the screen is not there, but no issue. He's the first one to do. Amit, you can answer it. What is the difference between, the required and the optional parameter in Dart? Yeah, Amit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So actually, in the other language, there is no chance to give the parameters like optional. In case of Java or C, there is no chance to give the parameter is optional. But in Dart, we have the features like we can call the multiple, parameters, and if you wish to, we can make it optional, right? Even we cannot, if you don't want to pass anything in the parameters, we can do that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ashish, you can be the next one to unmute and speak on that. Don't add those points, just add the second one on that. Yeah. Should I repeat the question for you? Difference between required and optional parameter in Dart. Okay, Mayank, you were the next one to on that.
Yeah, so basically, the required annotation is given to a parameter which we want to be passed, and without that, there would be a compile time error only that you cannot proceed without providing the required parameters. Optional parameters are defined using the curly braces, and in that, whatever parameters we have set in a function or a method, they are optional. You can either pass them or not. But they because now we have null safety, so you have to tell them a default. In optional parameters, we have to tell it a default value that it can use, or else we have to define the parameters as nullable parameter.
Okay.
Using the question mark.
These are a couple of good points which you raised. So I do have like Arvind, Osma, and Dev, and many people who have raised hand. Do you guys want any anything to add, or anything on contrast, or something which what you think like Mayank has missed, which you want to add, which can add the value on that? The guys who has raised hand, do you have anything on that? They can, like Jasot, do you have anything on that? You can unmute and speak on it.
Yes, in optional parameter.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, in the required parameter, we can set a default value if someone is not send the required and that value. But in optional value, we can remove the value. It's not mandatory to in some APIs or some other things. So these are I think missing in that question. The rest is fine.
Okay, that was really good to add. Anyone else who has raised hand would like to add?
Yeah.
I can allow one more people on that. Yeah, anyone who want to add?
I would like to answer. Can I? May I?
Yeah, please. Yeah, Usma. Yeah.
Okay. Osama. So there are two kinds of parameters in Dart. One are positional parameters, and the other are named parameters. The named parameters are defined within curly brackets, and named parameters can be further divided into required and optional. So required parameters, of course, whenever the function is being called, their value has to be passed. However, in optional parameters, they can be given a default value. And this is beneficial if we think that a variable or an argument is usually going to have a particular value. So we can use it as optional, and only in certain circumstances, the developer thinks if he needs to assign it a value, he can when in calling that function. Otherwise, the default value will be used.
Okay, that is really good. I'm just moving to the next question. We have noted down these three things which people have said. So here comes the next question to you guys. What are the similarities and difference of future and stream? This is very much used in in Flutter. This stream and future, like what are the similarities, why it is, what is the use case on that, and these all things are the point here. So you guys can put your thoughts on same. Who want to start? Okay, this one someone new. Last time I took a wrong name of Osama. I'm apologize for that. And I give you a chance first. You can unmute and speak on that first.
Thank you. So future, basically we can have if we are talking about widgets, we can have future builder, for example, and we have a stream builder. The difference is that future builder has an asynchronous build method. It basically calls a function, and when the function is completed and it has a return value, we can use that value inside our build method, and it is executed only once. A stream, however, is different. It can have a flow of value, a flow of outputs, like water flowing through a pipe. So if we expect to receive, for example, real-time data, for example, we are implementing a chat feature, and we expect the messages to come in a form of a stream. So then stream builder will be more useful, and we can define a stream of events, and the build function will be executed every time there is new data in the pipe or the stream. Thank you.
Okay. So anyone like Mayank or Ashish, Palas, like anything new or anything separate we want to add in that particular? Yeah, Ashish, yeah. We are not able to hear you, Ashish. No, not yet.
Now?
Yeah, now good. Yeah, please.
Okay. So the future, basically both features are streams and feature are part of that. So the main similarity between them is that they are both used for asynchronous programming. Okay. So the main difference is that future, the Dart does not know the future values basically right now. It will be come on later. And stream basically a sequence of data. It is in flow, basically we can say that, which can be changed each time it will be changed. So yeah, that is the difference between the future and the streams.
Okay, that's good. Anyone want to add anything in that? DevTech or Mayank or anything new, separate, extra, something which can raise the point from the client perspective? Yeah, please.
Yes, but if I can simply think that the feature will tell you when the result is ready, right? And stream is the like await function for example, we have a loop, then we need to await for the endless the result. A simple thing, if you can say what is different between streams and feature.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Mayank, you were saying something on that?
Actually, mostly the things are the same, like everybody else says. Future is a completable task and streams are non-completable. They are just like a flow of water. We get events and we one thing I would like to add is streams are also used in block pattern. What we do is we use yield star. There is an operator in Dart that we use to generate outputs, or we also call them generator functions, to give out events of streams.
Okay.
Also, what you say is we can also add events to the stream using its sync and add new events in that. And if we want to close it, we can use the close method. The rest, everywhere else said the same thing. So
same thing in pattern. Okay, that totally makes sense. Let me move to the next question in the whole setup. I'll be a bit quick and fast on this. So double infinity and media query. Is there any specific difference? Yeah, DevTech. yeah. You can initiate because this time you have raised the hand in 2 ways. Okay.
Double infinity is used to cover up all the space which is provided by the screen, like if it is in the form of width or in the form of height. And media query is used to provide provide the space, like if we are trying to cover up the 50% of the screen or 60% of the screen, and then in that case we are using the media query if we have to use some portion of that screen. And if we we want to use the whole screen or whole width of that, then we use infinity in that case.
Okay, that was very specific to that. So I don't think so. Anything like, does anyone have anything on that? Karan, Varjeet, anyone have?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, Amit. Yeah.
Sir, as Sir said, that the double infinity is only used for the full width of the height, and same as the media query dot size is already used for the working same as the double dot infinity.
Okay. So moving to the next one.
Yeah,
Okay.
how to convert a list into map.
Converting a list into a map in Dart. Like, do you use any specific function, method, or something? What is the best way to convert a list into a Dart? I see Mayank has raised the hand, but anyone else want to answer in that? Definitely Mayank is there for that. Anis, Palas, Sandeep. Yeah, Ashish. Who's one? Okay, Ashish, you can start with that. Yeah.
Okay, we have a function I just need to convert the list into a map. So we are having a function like map iterable function we are having. So we can use map dot from iterable. Okay, so we can iterate it, iterate the list into the map. So yeah, that in that manner we can achieve that.
Okay. Safyan Mazid, sorry if I wrong it. Yeah, you can go.
Yeah, I'm Safyan Majid.
Yeah, hi.
Actually, if we want to retrieve the data from JSON code, so we need to decode it on the map and then convert it to the list, from map to list.
Okay, so
on that
decoded is something you are suggesting on it, right?
Yes, we have to decode this using the our whatever we have created. We have to decode it on the map. Then on the map, from the map we can convert it on the list.
List. Okay, that makes sense. Because this is very specific question. Anyone has any other innovative way, any direct method, anything they want to speak on it? Yeah, Mayank.
Yeah, we can use .as map on the list. It will convert it to a map, and then we can specify how we want to move forward with it.
Okay.
Instead of creating from map.iterable, we can just on the list itself call itself a method .as map.
Okay, in that way we can do it. Definitely. So I'm moving to the next one. Use k-release mode instead of assert. Is there any specific benefit of using k-release mode instead of assert? Okay. Guys, you all can, like, there are plenty of guys who have not, like they are unmute and just analyzing the whole session. This is a new one, definitely you can do, but if you would like to answer, you can join it up. There are some more questions are there. If you join from now, then also there are good scope for understanding from the client perspective. So the question is k-release instead of assert, and like would like to request like Karan, Varjeet, and like you guys have already raised hand. Would you like to answer on that? Jasot, just Jot. It looked like no. So yeah, Mayank, you can start with that. No issue with that. Yeah. So it is good, like people can understand that also. So sometimes it is good for knowledge sharing.
Yeah, so basically assert we use is to assert a certain value or assert a certain condition that we want to do, right? For example, if you want to check if the parameter is not null and you want to throw an exception in that case, we want to check if a condition is true, then we want to move proceed forward with it. K-release mode, why we basically use is it makes sure that you are running in a release build and you want your certain conditions, or if you want to do something only in the release mode of your app, then you can do that. Assert doesn't give you that kind of thing, that it doesn't ensure that you are running in the release mode or not. But K-release mode does let you do that.
Okay. So this is something different which Mayank has shared. Anyone would like to add in that? Here, less people has raised their hand, so there is a good opportunity if you have some new ideas or thought to share on that. Else, I'm moving to the next question. Because, as we go down, there are certain questions which may come up a bit different way. So, stateful wizards defined as two classes in Flutter. This is something like, states are, states is the key part for Flutter, the way it manage it out. So stateful wizard are defined as the two classes in Flutter, but the question is why? Like, what is the core reason for that? Like, what is the help or something like that? We have Anis here in this. Yeah, Anis. Anis, you can unmute and speak. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically the stateful widgets are mutable, right? So this is the reason that a stateful widget like act like a real time. You can use the state under this. So for this mutable thing, we have to have the two state. One is defined to be mutable, and another one is defined to be the extent of this mutable class, so that we can call the cycle class and do it as a mutable functions.
Okay. So mutability is something can be managed in that. So Ashish, you have raised a hand. Do you have anything else to add into that?
Yeah, I just want to add something.
Yeah, please.
So basically, there is a main reason behind is that the visits are immutable. That's why we are using two classes for the stateful visit. Actually, it's I can say that it split the declaration into two classes. So which allow both the stateful APIs to immutable and stateful to be a mutable.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
One more thing, what did you want to add? You do have raised a hand in that.
Yeah.
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 Nice. Okay.
Am I hearable?
Yeah, you are audible. Yes.
Okay. So, sir, as widgets are mutable, so it's the declaration into two class because of the stateful widget API to be mutable and state to be mutable. That's why they have to.
Look like a bit repeated thing which earlier Ashish has said, but no issue. We do have some more points on that. Anyone else in this? Like anything, Mayank or anyone has anything new, or I should move to the new one?
Yeah, same for the mutable classes. Like they have to maintain multiple states. So two classes are there. First one for first class where they create the class, and second one, but when they want to reset their class, or we can say refresh their class, so they can say reset that first one and take another class have their instance. So that's why there is two classes.
Yeah, need to. Okay, that's good. I saw like you joined a bit late, but that is really good to know.
Yes.
Yeah, no issue, no issue. This is really a new experience for everyone, including the client or something. But we are trying to make it more improvised for everyone and make it more fruitful from the developer and client perspective, because we do have seen some gaps and we are filling in. No issue with that. So
I'm sorry if I disturb you, sir. Actually, I'm at my workplace now, so my break time is finished now, so I have to leave now.
Okay, no issue.
I'm working in.
Yeah, I will post you with this. Thank you for informing that.
Yeah,
I will
sure.
post you with this, and
Okay.
then we will
Thank
be
you so
definitely connected with the future job post and things on. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
sure.
bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
So just moving to the next one. Yeah, this is very easy answer. I think so only one person can reply it very quick. Exit O is not preferred for closing an app. It is not preferred. Anyone new, like, Vajit Mayank has already answered. Anyone, we all are Flutter. We know Flutter. Very easy question. Why we are not using Exit O?
Because sometimes app code crash because of using this.
This is right.
Like something DM process, something is there which
are there. Yeah.
Yes, might be suspend your app.
Very specific answer on that. Okay, moving to the next one very fast.
Yes, and the might be, I think Apple maybe suspend your app if you are using exit 0.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
like the Apple will not approve the particular
Yeah,
if you are
exactly.
using that particular.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is the actual thing. Yeah, I have faced that. Apple is not accepted. Yes.
So this is good thing. Like if
Actually, I want to share something. Like, I don't know who's getting this project or not. Actually, we are enjoying the knowledge and all these things, right? I don't know whether I get the project or not, but actually we like it.
no, that is actually, this is the client has requested and we are trying to make a sync, and definitely the response was very high. So we were not able to divide it, but in the upcoming calls, we will divide it into limited numbers. So, people will get a perfect chance to interact. But the core motive of this whole operation is client also understand how, because, the main gap is communication. Main gap is,
Yeah.
knowing the particular thing, understand, and for them also it is time consuming. From client perspective, they can see the recommendation and work on it, and from developer perspective, I feel like, I am also the guy who were earlier a developer. I did around 10,000 plus bid, but if you search my name on internet, you may not find anything on me, because every bid was one to one personal. I approached to 10,000 client and worked on that. And here what will happen, if you are on a platform, you are speaking, and if it is on blogs or post or YouTube or something like that, someone will just search like, okay, Osama Ali Flutter dev, they will see this, how you have performed, how you have shared the knowledge. So things will work out in a different way. So coming back to this, yeah, how do you check if a async void method is completed or not? Very straightforward. I think so one person can answer it. Amit is one who has raised this time. So
Yes, sir.
to
So
ask.
actually the async method is having a future builder or future state management. Then we can use this dot by getting a dot then method or by completer for this.
Okay.
I just want to add something
Yeah.
here. Yeah, we can use a is complete method to check that it is completed or not.
Okay, as complete
Yeah,
method.
I also want to add something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can make the whole function reactable, and we can create a virtual variable that is loading or something. If the function is done, the is loading is called some different value like the false or zero, and by this we can find this.
Okay. So I'm moving to the next question. Only one more, and then we will go to the quiz segment. So, okay, very easy, very easy. Like this is something a very layman question, but very important for the client, because when a client approach you, they really want to understand like why to choose what and why not to choose what. Just don't repeat one thing. One is using Dart and one is using JavaScript. Other than that, give some specific point like why, and if someone come with some application, which applications are very key for Flutter or which applications are very key for React Native. If you can give certain global examples, give something like how it works, that will definitely work. So Mayank has raised the hand. I start with him and then we can proceed, because this is a very good question. So you all can share a bit your experience on that. Yeah, Mayank, you can proceed with it.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, obviously there is a language difference, but the main thing is, but Flutter does is the Dart code is directly compiled into the bytecode, which is something that React Native doesn't do. It uses a JavaScript bridge to do that. So that's what makes a Flutter compile faster than the React Native code. Secondly, Flutter internally uses a Skia engine. So all the layouts and all the components, it has total control over it. It just asks for a single activity or a single view controller from iOS and Android respectively. And mostly, I think the main difference is that there is nothing, any kind of bridging is there, which takes some time in React Native.
Okay.
I think if I say more, some others can add on that.
Okay. Yeah, Osama, you can unmute and speak.
Okay, thank you. So this point is very valid that Flutter is more performant than React Native because it doesn't have a bridge like React Native. React Native basically tries to render the native components when it renders the native iOS button, the native Android button, but Flutter basically draws to the screen like a game engine. So it draws its own buttons which look exactly like the native ones, but it's not native actually. So that helps Flutter perform faster than React Native. Secondly, I think that Dart is a language which is optimized to compile for different platforms. So that is the key difference. JavaScript is not a language which was designed with that target in mind, but Dart is specifically designed to be compiled for different platforms. And that is another advantage that we have with Flutter.
Okay. So now
Yeah.
to Ashish, Anis, and guys like
I just want
one point.
Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah,
one
I
point
want to
have.
add something.
Can I say?
yeah, please.
can I
Yes.
say?
Yeah, Ashish, you can start first. Yeah.
Okay, so the all the actually as others said that things are there, but one more thing I want to add is the biggest difference between the React Native and Flutter is that the Flutter has plugins developed by the Google teams like geolocation, Firebase, and many more we are having. Unfortunately, in a React Native apps, they works better than in a Flutter. So yeah, that
Okay,
things
that
I
way
want
it
to
works.
say. And
One more thing. One more thing I want to add.
Yeah.
Like Flutter using OEM, original equipment manufacturer, like their widgets are their own. But in React Native, they are using components that are third party, like they didn't develop that things by their own.
Okay, that is good. Anis, would you like to
Yeah.
add? Else I will just
Yeah,
modify.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Can I?
Yeah, for Flutter.
Can I? Hello. Hello.
May I speak?
Yes,
okay,
all these guys
okay.
are all these guys are answered very good. They are talking about the core functionality, what is different between the Flutter and React Native. But if I'm talking about which apps and we need to use for building React Native or Flutter, if you are going with the marketplace app, then we definitely go with the React Native. React Native, because React Native basically made for the marketplace API. We can create easily and faster than Flutter marketplace API. Rather than the next, rather than other app you want to build, like rest other gaming app or so other app, then we can definitely go with the Flutter.
Okay.
But React Native is definitely we can go with the marketplace API if you want to build in that.
Okay, that is something. So marketplace of this thing is very much good in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can add in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's also it's not about the customers. It also helps us to develop the app in the Flutter because it's a less time taking and all the widgets and plugins are basically available for it. So in that case, it's take less time to develop so that we can create the we can actually increase the production. In case of industry, we can increase the production actually, and we can repeat the modules and all these things. Our plugins are all stable plugins, and also we can create more attractive and interactive UI in the Flutter rather than React Native.
Okay, these are actually your point. Like we can make it more interactive or attractive in one page
Yes,
compared
exactly.
to the other one. This is actually a questionable point is there because it depends from the perspective of the client and that all thing. But just a single point here, we all are, worked on Flutter. We know all this thing about it or something. So can anyone name like any very popular application, very popular, like something which is actually have million live users or something,
Google
which is
Pay.
using Flutter as their
Google.
Yes.
Google
Pay.
Ads.
Google is the builder of that. Like what I want to say, like any startup or something which is out of Google.
Alibaba is also
Alibaba.
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 Okay.
Alibaba.
Alibaba
I
is
think
using Flutter as the core one. Okay.
CRED application.
Great. Okay. Great.
Google Pay.
CRED application.
I'm having the name like Payne Park and Hamilton and
Geo is also using
yeah.
Flutter for the
Now
application.
Geo is moving into the Flutter.
Actually, I worked on one Geo application.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the largest software companies in China, ByteDance, also uses Flutter for their apps. ByteDance.
Okay, so this will give the confidence to the client, like when they actually see, like because those guys are actually looking it like they are going to be Alibaba one day. So is it a right tech for them or something like that? So this is from
Absolutely. Alibaba is using very fast and smooth, I would say, better UI before than that.
Okay, that's good. So now we have just a quiz. It will be a very small quiz, just 5-minute quiz with you all. I'm just launching it. You all will see it and you can reply The questions, it is in front of you. I'm just stopped sharing my screen, but the quiz is there. You guys have like 5 minutes to go through all the question and answer. The timer is there enough. After this, we only have 3 more questions. That is like a session. Those are different. Like that is not a normal question. It is like a situational question, and that will be the end of it.
Sir, actually, I suddenly click on a submit button by
Me too.
giving two answers.
Yes, me
Oh,
too.
because okay.
Yes, please again.
I don't think so. I can able to relaunch it. No issue. I will do one thing. I will share that link separately with you, because this is like we are doing on Zoom. So Zoom may not allow us to relaunch it in that way. So I will I will just drop this thing again for you guys on that.
Sure, sir.
How many questions are there? 13 questions. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the time limit for that?
3 minutes are done. No more. 2 more minutes. Total 5 minute work.
I have submitted.
Okay. Last 1 minute.
Yeah, I have only one question left. Yeah, I have submitted.
Okay. Last 30 seconds, then just 3 more situational questions, and that will be the end of all. It will be a quick, and then we'll provide you all the details, like what information you are going to receive from us in the future in this particular respective to this call.
When should we expect to hear back from you?
Early in next week, like by the next Monday, the final decisions or like the hearings and everything will come up. So like 3 more days here, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 more working days will be taken, and then on Monday you can hear from us.
Okay.
5 minutes are done. I'm just ending the poll. And I have downloaded the result. If you guys like, I can share the result also with you all. So like 19 people have completed, and this is already shared with you guys. So I'm just completing this, minimizing it, sharing my screen, moving to the next part.
How do I see the result?
What is the result?
Okay, just a minute. Let me share it again. You can see it show with the correct answers. So let me admit him. So 19 out of 28 people have completed the both thing. Okay, this will, from my perspective, it will just show me which answer is given by how many people. Like for example, this is correct or that, but I will get a detailed report from Zoom, like which person has answered what, and
Yeah, it's showing.
that will give it. So that is something we are seeing.
Yeah, it's showing.
One wrong.
Done. So just the last session now, guys. Very quick one. This is something separately we have kept so that this is just totally from the client perspective. Here, only 2 people can share this knowledge because this is very a open-ended question. So if you start speaking, you can speak a lot. There is no end on that. Okay. I don't know, Ashish, did you saw the question? Why you raised the hand? Okay. So let me start with, sorry, this is the previous one. Here we go.
Oh,
so this is
not
one
an
situation
IRC.
which we generally see. Yeah, anyone want to say anything? Okay, let's move on. That this is one of the situation we generally see, and what is the right way from the developer, from the technical perspective to do it. The client has already hired a team. They are doing an application, but many times what happens, when we start a project, we say it will do in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but it take its own time. We don't know how it takes. Sometimes from client perspective, our perspective, or something like that. Now client wants someone which help them to coordinate with the project task, manage, and tight timeline is the key thing for the client. So if you are as a tech lead, if someone of you is there in the tech lead, which tool, which way, and what you will suggest, which can make this thing more accurate for a client in that perspective from his understanding. So yeah, on graph you can, sorry, I don't know your real name. I see on
It's a cheat.
Okay, yeah, please, you can start with that. Yeah.
For I will prefer to use agile method. Like in zero sprint, we will decide all the things. What is the scope of project and what things we have to do. And in agile, we can break all the things in different parts. So according to their milestones, we can say, or their sprints, we will decide the task and their timeline. So in that case, developers and client also know that what is the scope of that milestone, and if they want to edit or multiple times, client want to change their we can say scope or features as well. So in agile, we can control these things as well.
Okay. So definitely, the milestones and these all things which you pointed, they are already being done. You can understand, get this situation. So for Anis, Just Jot, Mayank and Ashish, just consider the case. Milestones are developed, things are developed. Now, how to make accurate, any tool or something, or
agile
any
also.
way? Yeah.
In agile, we have
So we
all the
can,
things like planning
hello.
and all the things.
Okay.
Yes, we can use tools like Jira, Asana, this type of tools, and Zoho as well.
Okay.
By understanding the milestones and corporate operations, so we can set a milestone and subtask list. The step one. We can set delivery as well with the timeline. The best
Now,
tool.
For Anis, Mayank, and Ashish, for QA, what you suggest and how you suggest? Is there any way for do automated, manual, or managing the quality? What do you suggest if you are a team lead at that particular?
Yeah, as in this line, as client suggests that it's managed in a tight timeline. So there might be a chance to get a less time for the project. So in that case, we will it's better to use the agile and break it in the different module. The preferable module, we have to set the module in the priority basis, and we have to do that. In that case, if while we are develop the first module and go for the second module, it's already been done in the first module, so we can just live it. And while we're doing the second module, we can also check the first module, right? So in this way, there is a less chance to meet with errors and all these things. So we can just do the project in tight timeline and do this error free and risk free as well.
Okay. I actually read somewhere like, meetups or meetings which we do with the developer. If we do very frequently, they kill the time. If we do very less, they give them more liberation. So how frequent you suggest the meetup? If you are tech lead or something in this situation, how frequent you will keep? Mayank, Ashish, Varjit, you can answer that. Like,
I would say Scrum meetings around 2 to 3 times a week is more than enough, because if we keep Scrum meetings every day, there is not much progress on a certain module that the person is working on. So if you have a meeting regularly with the developer, as you suggested, it might kill the time of the developer that he can invest in working on the project. Rather than having Scrum calls every day, we can have it every after day or after 2 days.
okay.
Pardon for, but if developers stuck on any task, so they have to wait 1 or 2 whole day.
So
for
in
discussion.
case the developer is stuck somewhere, or they are not progressing with it, they should inform us. Or else, if we get to know about it a day after, then it will
That's why
surely
15 minutes Scrum call is scheduled for daily. We can say stand-up meet.
yeah, it's suggested
15
as
minutes,
15 minutes, but every day if
Right.
you go into Scrum call, it get extended up to an hour also.
That is maintained by our what's that?
Okay.
Sorry,
Actually, we can we
Yeah,
have
it's
we
getting
can
to a
do one
healthy
thing.
conversation
Scrum
on this
Master.
point.
That's
Yeah,
Scrum
because
Master.
yeah,
I
this
am
is very
talking
important.
here. Okay,
We
what
can
I
do
am
one more
suggesting
thing.
here
We
is,
can just point it down the points. We can just note it down the points and divide these points to the teammates. Okay, and after the day, we can just discuss which point are done, which point is left, which point is ongoing. In this case, we can don't miss any point, and we can do the whole project
Okay.
like
Ashish,
by small
yeah,
part.
thanks.
yeah.
Can I?
Thanks for that. Yeah, Ashish. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Hello.
hearing I'm adding here something like we should get the stand-up call first, and EOD call, like and in between we just have a one call only. Like if developer needs something from the higher authority, like he wants some suggestions, so he's stuck in somewhere. So yeah, I would say that the 2-3 calls are enough to in a day for guiding someone or coordinating with the teams. Yeah.
Okay. There is one interesting point added in there. Like, would the reward
Hello.
and penalty concept on achieving the minor milestones is a good idea? What do you think, Varjit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
Yes,
Basically,
good idea.
basically, whenever teammates get that the rewards, then definitely they will put more efforts from themselves. Okay, so yeah, that things make easier for the development perspective.
And what about penalty? Varjit and Osama, Amit, anything on that? Shall we have any type of penalty concept? Will that create a fear, or will that give any boost?
I would not like to encourage any kind of penalty, and I don't think it's really necessary. However,
Yeah,
in
same
my
here.
experience, I would like to stress on maintaining code quality and writing tests for the code, because if we write a lot of unit tests and widget tests and a little bit of integration tests, then that helps to reduce time spent in testing and also helps to avoid regression bugs. So that is one thing that I would like to stress on, and I think that the iterations should be fast and feedback should be frequent. I agree with the idea of 15-minute stand-ups. I think that can work if they are kept to 15 minutes. That is the hard part in it.
Yeah.
But
Other than that, yeah, please
I'll
continue.
just complete in a second. So my focus would be on maintaining code quality, because as an application grows, it is the complexity of the code that is the bottleneck many times. So implementing best practices, architecture, ensuring that all that is followed is the most important thing in my opinion.
That
The
is really
tools,
good.
Jira or any other tool can be used for
Okay.
that
Yeah,
matter.
I want to add just one more thing. Like we can maintain test cases for that as well. Like they can reduce their bugs. Like whenever developer going to share build for QA, before that they just verify the test cases, so it will reduce their bugs as well.
Okay. Now, code quality is also one of the key things. Any like GitHub repositories, code merges, these all things are done. People are actually analyzing it, doing it manually. Everything is done. Any, from the client perspective, any standard tool, which rate your code thing or something, which
Yes,
We can
can.
use
we
CI/CD.
can use GitHub or
Yeah,
Bitbucket.
I should suggest that if we need some continuously integration, so we can add some CI/CD pipeline in that. Okay, using a GitHub action or Fastlane, or we have
Yes,
lots of
anyone.
tools for that.
So we can easily maintain our code on
There
GitHub
is
with
also
different
We
branches like
also
local branches, developer branches, and live. If
we
you
also
want to go with
automate
the
our
live,
code like
there's also a tool named Sonar Cloud that
Yeah,
client can
multiple.
use and
Other than
see
that, we
what is
can
going on.
maintain linters, some other linters as well. So they can maintain like anyone code quality, that what is they are pushing and what they are writing. So we can do linters, improve linters as well.
Definitely, definitely. So that was a good and healthy thing on that. Next, moving to the next situation. This is also very common, which have with everyone. People buy the code and they want to modify it, and they buy it from Code Canyon, a very normal way. Like they buy in $50 or $70. They have like thousands of line of code, and they want to modify. Does you guys prefer it, not prefer it, or is there any smart way to do it, or that is just a waste of time for client? What do you suggest to client on say? Anyone want to start?
Yeah,
Uh,
Okay.
I think there is no no point to get such codes and grab it and just copy and paste it. And in case of my production, if I have the my dream business, if I have the my major business, I probably not take this risk as a client. So it's better to do it from scratch, because in the Code Canyon project there is a lots of malware and lots of viruses is there. I don't know what is the pros and cons of this code. It's not possible to review all the code and fix it in a way. So it take the much time to get it from the scratch. So it's better our own business. For our own business, we should create our own module, our own product structure, and everything is should done with our perspective, so that we can add the functions later on. We can maintain the project all over the time, and we can just develop the and update the app day by day. So this is the thing. All is the control in our hand in one line.
Okay. Okay. Why this
my-
happen? Like definitely your developer perspective is very correct on that, but why this actually happen? Try to understand from client perspective. Because
Actually,
many times client get an idea from a reference. Like they see, okay, and like Airbnb is working, what they are renting a place. I have a startup idea. Let me rent something else. Similar concept. You just
Yeah,
need to change
that
the
can be
image.
valid. That
You
can be
just need to
valid.
change the
Yeah,
parameter, and
if
the work will be done.
client don't, yeah, if client don't have any budget, if client don't have the less budget, they can just use it to buy the Code Canyon project. If they have the budget and have a great business like the a big business, so they should
No,
have
big
the
business won't approach it. Yeah, Anis, you are correct. I'm not saying about the enterprise companies coming on that. I'm saying about the startup
actually, it
who has,
depends on client,
yeah,
like on their budget and on their times as well. Like if I am a startup and I just want to try something, like maybe that e-commerce work or not. So I just like in short time, where I just buy something from Code Canyon and start that thing. So
okay.
if it will work,
for
then
for
I
that
will hire some other developer, and then I will try like hire one developer for that. Just review the code, and I want to improve that features there.
I would like to add
So
I
something
would
here.
like
that's
to add something also.
Yeah,
You
sorry.
can go for it.
Mayank has raised first. So Mayank, then Ashish, then Osama. Yeah, Mayank.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think what you were saying is right. If there is a kind of situation that client has already went ahead and bought the code from Code Canyon, In case we have to proceed with it, we just need to let the make client aware that this can contain some kind of malware, some kind of anything like that. And once we start to work on it, we need like in this situation, we need to implement direct sales option. We first need to let them know like we cannot only have a direct sales option, because now, as we all know, App Store and Play Store both restricts these kind of apps, and they encourage you to use their in-app billing systems, preferably Apple also. They ask you to use Apple Pay instead of the direct sales options. So yeah, there are some caveats proceeding with it. We need to let client know about this, and we can ask them like if they prefer, we can build this from scratch instead of using the Code Canyon code.
Now moving to Ashish, Osama, and Amit. I just add one more point, because there are no code tech tools are there, and there are certain which because we are discussing on Flutter. So have you guys anytime came across something as a no code tools which can help to build something on Flutter very quickly and then add your logic or something like that? Is that
Yeah.
something you can
Yeah.
Yeah,
suggest,
Flutter
you
flow
know, or
and these
something like
things.
that?
Yeah, Flutter Flow. One of the tool is Flutter Flow, where you can just drag and drop these boxes, and you
Yes.
can just. It's like a codeler. If you have gone through the codeler, it's like the same. You can just drag and drop, but it's state. So if
But they
client
provide multiple junk codes, so that's
Okay.
why we don't prefer to use that things.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Ashish and Osama, anything you want to add in that?
Yes.
Yeah, Ashish, you can proceed. Then we take over.
Okay, so it's totally depend on the requirement of the client side stuffs, like client having some budgets, like he had some specific budget he want to spend that much. So that depend on that things where we can start. Like if client want to buy already developed code, like you are saying that we client one of the clients selling the e-commerce Flutter app, and he just buy it. Okay, so as an developer perspective, I would say like it should be it would be a great if it is a well maintained code. Otherwise we need to struggle a lot with the code. Okay, it is my perspective as a developer. Okay, if I talk about the perspective of client, so it's like the client are having already developed app, and he just wants some certain stuff changes. Okay, so on that perspective he is right and he is good to go. Okay, so it's totally depend on the conditions. Okay, and the requirement of the client.
Okay. I got your point. Like, it is better in that perspective where the client has already think from the client perspective, but from developer perspective, the code quality is the key thing.
Yeah.
Osama, anything in that?
Yeah. So I want to stress that managing client expectation is very important. They must realize from the very start what they are getting into. Many clients who are into buying code from Code Canyon, they are like first time entrepreneurs, and they don't really know what they are getting into. It happens many times. And the developer needs to communicate clearly and effectively and tell them that they are not actually saving money by buying code from Code Canyon or any place, any other place. They're actually creating problems for themselves, and they will not be able to add new features in it, because first of all, the models or the domain layer of that code, it was not written with their specific app in mind. And then imagine implementing a new theme in that app. For example, adding a dark mode in that app. It can be a whole night. It can be a total nightmare. Or implementing internationalization, for example, multiple language support. It can become impossible. These are things that need to be done with the right architecture. Otherwise, they will only introduce new bugs. So an architecture can only be implemented from the start, not from an already finished piece of code. So the developer needs to tell the client, and personally, I have always done that. If anyone has approached me with already written code, I try to convince them that it's faster and better in the long term, and even in the short term, to start from scratch, because that will actually because just one more thing I want to add is that even as developers, sometimes we undervalue the need of refactoring code. But refactoring, people think that it's a waste of time, but actually it saves time, and it helps us go fast in the long term by going slow in the short term.
Okay.
So that is something that the client also needs to
Okay.
understand.
Thanks. It was wonderful for everyone. Yeah, Mr. Khan, you can unmute and speak. I saw you raise hand in this. Yeah. Hey, hi.
This is my first meeting. I belong from a village. My presentation skill is not good, but I want to try my best. I think the Code Canon once project. It's a Flutter project. Flutter is a open source platform, and the open source platform we use for this purpose, that we first our work flow, like if when a shop or design, once we design any shop application or anything else, we follow a basic code structure like MVVM and in many more ways. Then when once a developer see this structure, then he knows that where is the utilities uses, where is the UI uses, where is the buttons call, where every parameters we have. It depends on the previous developer that he defined these things clearly or not. If the code is clear, well defined, then it's a very easy way to add some new functionality for clients. And we first our process in this way, I think.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. Like the code, overall, the code architecture is more important and which is managed. So just you can add in that if you have anything new, and then we move to our last question.
I think we should move to the next
one. Last question. Okay, that's good. So, so looking for a Flutter developer, already have an existing project. We have an e-commerce application in Flutter and like to do some changes in our delivery model. So earlier it was a situation where someone has purchased something from CodeCan and now want to add something in this. Now the situation is they have done something from a previous developer, looking for a new developer to modify. So what will be your first step? I know like you can work on it, you can improve it, XYZ you can do, but which way you will analyze? Will you use any specific tool? Will you use any specific method? Any way to grade the current code? Any way to map it out to the client so that it will be a black and white for a client? Like, okay, right now I am getting something as a grade of A, and you will make it A plus like this. So how you will do that? So that is the question here. So everyone has asked. So okay, Anis, you can start from that. Yeah. Or just wait a minute, just a second. Just your hand is already raised. Yes. Would you like to answer in this?
Yes, first of all, we'll go with the code, the oldest. First, I need to know the what type of project, the model of project.
Okay.
The information from the client, the which thing as or you want to done and what is done in the project, like e-commerce website, right? So first we need to know the model of the app, right? Second thing, I will go through the code. I will go through the code. If it's very good, then if it's making in with the Git, then I'll check the commits, what type of functionality they have made in the code with the commits with the commit message, right? So I can understand what type of code and which type of the functionality they have done.
Okay.
Second thing, I will ask to client now which part or which functions you want to change or add new things. Then I will check the code, every part of code, like the code quality and functionalities, all these things, error handling. all types good, then we can go with the new code. If something is looking is need to rework, or we can say fix things, first I will fix those thinking, so I can move on further, rather than I can start the new changes. Right?
Okay.
After that, after complete the changes, then we can do new task or new things.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, what Jasjot has specified, these are the very good step, but those are a bit step taken manually to analyze, to do this or something like that. Any way to automate it, like Anis or like everyone who has written, any tool or something to first analyze the thing in a quality basis?
Yeah, before going to the tools part, we have to have the full documentation of the project first of all, and then we have to go through the code in a heavy way, like in a deep way. We have to go through the codes and code modules, the what are the architecture they have followed in the code, like, and after that we have to ask customer that what kind of changes he wants, like in the delivery model, in which delivery model section you want to add the changes, and for these changes, which are the points we have to change this further. So these are the thing, and also the most important part is the code is bugs free or not. If we're having something bugs already, so we have to remove it first, okay, so that we can make the code in scalable. And after that, we can add a number of this one changes, one good code structure, one error free code is there. If these things are there, we can add n number of changes. We can add n number of modules in the same project.
Okay,
so this is the main
thank
thing.
you. Now, documentation is the key thing, which is one which I picked from the other thing. So anyway, like, because everyone is making document by their own understanding and for their own references. No one make generally document for the other reference, like they generally go it out. So any specific, method or any procedure which you say like that would help the client to take the documentation in the global. Are you guys can, suggest something on that? The guys who have raised hand would like to speak on it, like, sorry, on graph or Amit or anyone on this documentation specifically.
We can have entity diagrams that display how the different features are related to each other. For example, every feature should be as isolated from the others as possible and expose only a certain set of APIs to interact with the others. And then they should not be tightly coupled, and the coupling should be loose, so that for example, we should make every feature as reusable as possible. If we have authentication, and tomorrow they want to implement an app for the drivers or some other party that gets involved in their business, the authentication feature should be implemented in such a way that it can be reused. So that a good way to define such relationships can be model diagrams, entity diagrams, and they can be easily understood also by new developers, so the onboarding process can become easier. Another thing would be like test coverage, how what percentage of lines of code are covered by tests. So that would be an important metric to identify the health of the project.
Okay, that's good. Anything more for like how to overtake someone else's project? Any other case or anything which we have missed till now you guys want to point out, or generally you guys do that like in your current way when someone approaches
I want
you?
to add one more thing.
Yeah.
Apart from that document and the code structure, we have to check the architecture what they had used. Like as Osama told, they are tightly curved or not. They maintain their view is different files and their functions are different and repository layer is different. So one thing we have to check this thing, and the second thing is that what client want to modify. So we just target that specific screens or specific files, and how easy they are, like we can say, work on that files, because if they are tightly coupled or if they have dependencies on other files, so we have it's take time much time to increase that features. But in other cases, like clearly maintained these architectures, like generally we can say clean architecture, then it is very easy, and that time it's take very less time to improve or changes that features.
Okay, that really makes sense.
One
Man.
thing I would like, to add is that yes, we should check all these things, like all these people said things, which we should check the architecture, what architecture is being followed. We should know the entry diagrams. We should analyze the code. We should check the test coverage and all the things. I think before doing all that, first once we get the documentation from the client and what all the app is about, first once you get the code, first try to run it, explore the app, what all it is doing, check the logs, what all is going on, and what all the errors are there in the project already. You can see that in the logs. You can see all the warnings and all those things before going ahead and checking all the what is the architecture and all those things. We should know what we are getting into by just running the app and analyzing it, what all it is doing, and then we can go ahead and check all these things, what is architecture is being followed and all those things.
Okay. Amit, anything in that you want to add? Sorry, Ashish, he just raised hand before. Amit, anything?
So thank you. Already completed all the steps for this, but likely to add something. But if we are, the client says that there is a one functionality to be added, there is some changes in the app, then we can simply use the Flutter inspector widgets for to find the where is the error kind or the changes will be done by us.
Okay, that is good. Ashish?
Yeah,
Everything is covered. So no, that is really good, because these are very general question. I already told you this is an open-ended scenario or something. So from my side, we are end with this. The whole recording and setup will be shared with you guys also and with the client. And we will definitely try, like, you guys can get a multiple approach. This will be shared on like YouTube or Medium or any other platform. All the links with your name and profile will be there. Yeah, Osama. Yeah. Any question?
I just wanted to share a little feedback if we have time
Yeah,
for it.
please. Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Yeah. So first of all, I really liked this interaction, meeting other developers and hearing their thoughts. It was very beneficial. Secondly, I just want to say that maybe we could have a little bit more focus on state management techniques also. For example, there was one question regarding provider and inherited widgets. Maybe we can like talk more about other solutions like block or other things also. Maybe in the future.
Yeah, like more text stuff need to be more detailed text stuff that can make more sense in that case. Yeah, I totally agree on this. And adding to this, like with the feedback, that particular thing, because this is something is a part of it. Okay, so I might be sharing with you one Google form. Okay, in that also you can share the feedback and whole series what you like. Just now one last request, because there were many people who were like an audience. If someone has really watched this particular scene, and if they want to give their own feedback, or if they want to choose 5 or 7 top developers from here, I'm just asking to, like, Bharat, me, Hardik, Ajay, like if the guys were real on there, like Vikram and anyone, if they like to see from the client perspective, does this thing make sense? Like anyone like to add in this? I think so. These are okay. The audience is there. No issue there. Okay. So I will share all this thing. I will share this thing with the client. We will the approach, and we'll try to make a community setup also. So people will work out on that together. And I will definitely give you all the updates and everything by next Monday, which I told you about the whole this thing. And maybe within next 2 days, this will go, the blog post and everything will go live. So we'll share our detail with you. Everything will be shared right now through the Upwork. The client will approach you directly through the Upwork, and there is nothing in between of us. It will be you and the client. You can decide to go out of Upwork, direct Upwork, totally on you. From our side, we are just testing this whole model for our client and get their feedback and develop a feedback on the setup. This is from our side. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much. And one thing I would like to suggest, that rather than choose a one developer, there are so many my friends which quite expertise in Flutter. As I have seen that Ashish is there, Osama is there, the Mike was there. So these are all are the experts that I have seen, that there is the experience knowledge in that. So rather than choose the one developer, you may choose the multiple developers, so that we can create a group and create the is a cabin to get shared the knowledge and also developing a better project.
Actually,
Right.
you have hit the bullseye. The core idea between this is like you have joined this meetup. Okay, we have made this public, but we will not share it with one client. We say like, okay, join, select this one or select that one. Okay, now this is going to be like a repository for you guys. Your performance is there. It will improve like every week. If we keep this type of meetup, your performance will improve. And which maybe some meetup you have done like around 2 months ago, people can see and approach you, or someone can analyze you, or they can choose like, okay, Osama is good, or Anis is good, or Hardik is good, and the client can approach all the three together. So our motive is client can approach many people and many client can approach me. So this is many to many things. So definitely we are not targeting one developer in one meetup. We are targeting many clients and many developers, like many job contracts in one meetup. This is something we want to achieve with the whole scenario.
That will be great. That will be great actually.
Yeah, definitely we need to improve with our process. There are multiple things we'll work out, and that's why we are doing it just for testing. Like we get a request from the client, we accumulate, we definitely use Upwork, but this is a genuine client request and an approach so that we can work out on it. So this is something we are doing it the whole scenario. So thank you guys for your time. Do see it. We will definitely get back to you by Monday, and we will definitely try like multiple people from this particular group should get something from our initiative so that we can have a future relationship on that. Thank you. And
Thank you.
looking forward.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you guys. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.